GX being proactive, they've already cleared out B main with a Prowler, and with all the utility coming through, you can see the rotations coming in. Nami feeling under pressure, a nice reposition, doesn't get caught, but well, the execution's now coming in.
Last time around, they did set up to flank G2, so fighting forwards, the attack will go, but they fall flat on their face. Shut out immediate. 1 kill back from Nello. She still stands on the site and needs support. It comes in the form of Petra. That's 1 kill back. Still, they trail by a single player. Spike on the back. They've got to take the fight. Blocked in the face.
Explode onto the A site. I mean, you can see right now, GX are aware of stairs and not necessarily dealing with it at all.
Nami only has the pistol, and that ghost will get dropped. Not before the Bulldogs battle back, though. Still, Plant yet to come in. Aftershock delays that further. Paranoia recommitted to clear out the backside position. That's where Ness has held the line.
Look at the pings.
To be released as soon as that turret is hit. It's the stealth drone, actually, which Amy's going to throw out first. Finally, the contact comes through. With the suppression onto Nami, the Paranoia can't be pulled. And for that reason, GX go through the door without the support that they would be relying on. Nami, finally, holding up her end of the bargain and cleaning things up on the site itself. That's where G2 have failed to cross. Nami holding the line again as Mimi is thrust into a 1 versus 3.
Play on the front foot. When you look into what re-clear utility that GX have coming through, realistically it's only that one.
Yeah, Mimi is getting closer to the fault line, like you say. Flash goes out main, now on the off angle. Trying to dodge it, but eventually has to break. Both players getting stunned. A little bit more time in the back pocket for the Danish IGL. The smoke doesn't quite cover the angle completely. She's got to go a little wider first.
I mean, there's only really the Viper Orb to work with in terms of dicing up the angles.
No, it is huge that she's held onto it though, and actually G2 want to try and fight through it. Amy getting one. Still not really sure what decision is to be made here. Does she disengage? No, it's a group up now towards Waterfall. Playing off of Nello. She's the one that gets the kill. Ness trading it back, and G2 cut down to size.
I mean, there's 2 blast packs. There's not a lot of utility for GX to work with. A tap of the spike and trying to bait clears out. The salvo's buying time, but there's no utility. It's going to come down to gunfights.
The plant isn't all too good here either for G2, but Nello takes it cleanly onto Ever. And whoa, what is that Smurfette? Now you want to be starting to build an advantage.
Already clearing out the KG utility. I mean, there was players up far on C Mound, but I mean, it should be easy to get into the site for G2, but it's not necessarily the case. Sarah close by to work with, but it's just Ava doing it all herself. Getting 2 picks already, being dropped to 5 HP and Sarah caught out. Here we go, Smurfette in with the ultimate.
And as you say, 1 kill gets the ult. That's a chance for a rotation, and it's actually the orb she goes for instead.
Trying to bait out with a TP, well, the time being so low, 3 players to find. Oh, Omega 2, only 1!
Against that former teammate for Mimi, Petra. That being her breakout year, but already feeling a lot more comfortable on this GX side with the new role. And it's her site under siege, already doing a decent job at buying a little bit of delay with the utility, but the kills have got to come through.
G2, well, they're planting it towards that CT spot, as well as Smurfette can get in to catch off rotations, but it's their own defensive smoke that blocks the line of sight.
And while audio will have been cut on all 3 players, Smurfette's not running up behind them because G2 have actually fired themselves forward towards spawn. Mimi now, rifle in hand, fires off yet another belting shot, and with Nami nailed, it's G2 that have the advantage. They run with it, roll with those punches. Vanya adding yet another. And as the duelist does extra damage, Smurfette's down to a classic into the corner. And now with some extremity information, Eva is going to be feeling a little hot under the collar.
Close. Ava reliable in this Sheriff. That wall drops and almost too many targets to pick from. That stun's perfect though. Teed up. Well, it's only going to be one. Nello getting the advantage, and GX just sending this forward. That's the rolling thunder, but it's a distraction for Nami to get into position. The wall is denying any sort of line of sight, and well, there's so many players to pick from. It's only able to get one. I mean, Stealth Drone's identified the threat as well, and Nello.
When have we ever seen her before, right? It's usually the Omen. And actually, there's one.
I And on top of that then, Smurfette now coming in, like on that flank once more. Catches EMEA but can't capitalise! That's a disaster, Hazza!
Push. Nami is the flank coming in, and quite a bit of delay already bought by GX through that nade, but I don't think she'll clear this.
Hobbit is where most of the forces come through, and there is a rifle in which to work with as well. I mean, looking for engagements as EMEA set up by the rest of her team. More players coming through, but the trades end up still keeping G2 in front more now as GX start to come in. It's went up in a 1 versus 1. That came from Waterfall.
Yeah, Vanya, the only player left, does have a TP to try and play around with. Ness, empty utility belt, but the first bit of damage.
Tapping the spike, time getting low though, and now you're starting to favour Vanya. All she needs to do is bait Ness off of the spike, and with that, the half not found, Gia and Ness, they're just taking their time.
Very good at dealing with that early aggression. Nami blinded both ways. Showstopper wide of the mark. G2 capitalising as it stands. Ness's best efforts will still fall flat. And so it settles for the attack side for just a moment.
Come back here, you can see that fake out being set up once again, but it's Smurfette here. I mean, this is going to be a big 1 versus 1 because it'll open up.
But the utilities just stop this B play from even coming in, and it's the worst possible site that you'd want to try and push.
Such a powerful position to be in.
It is spoilt for choice, RG2. Nello's the player in close proximity, which could give that kill to her.
Oh my god.
Big 1v1.
They're dead.
And wins it, but there's a second. Two are now in prime position. It's now got to be a foot race onto the site as Nello will be coming back in soon. Vanya cleared at the wrong time for her. And now Smurfette is moving further. The Rolling Thunder buying some time. But you've got to be thinking now about Nello coming through. It gets rid of the lockdown and the player. And now a 1 versus 2 against Ness.
Hang on.
Doesn't have, well, still has the snake bite, and it'll come in at the perfect time and focus their efforts towards main.
Good delay though, and that's now a fight which G2 are prepared to take towards Grask. Sarah's found such a key position. This is crazy pathing from her, and her old IGL feels the brute force of it.
This utility and post plant is going to be so good for delay against G2.
Currently playing from upper, Vanya with a TP to cut across as well. Line of sight denied by the first smoke. Second drops to Smurfette. She's going to get the first player on the jump back through. Of the times as things stand. Util goes traded. Toxins able to deny quite.
As that spike goes down.
Needs to get this kill, but Vanya wins out the duel once more. Player already detected towards Ben, suppression goes on to them. G2 know the state of play, win this round, and it's pretty much the map. They got 2 players in the top 4 for headshot percentage. Ooh. Up against an outlaw. Petra, ooh. In main, she'll turn the door, and now they turn their attention towards the C site. Still so much utility, a stockpile for GX to work with here, whereas G2, little light on their feet in that regard.
Oh no, the next shot goes GX's way. Nello isolated as well. Advantage still towards GX, only momentarily as EMEA come up against that old teammate. Can she come through and haunt Mimi once again? Can't go near that turret because of the damage, but Mimi's looking for that angle onto the spin.
Leave Vanya as this sole C player. We saw them do it on the pistol last time when they were playing defense. It's just given so much room to the rest of G2 to stack up on A, but it means nothing if you take fights solo.
They're just going to leave that beat and have to retake with an op. It wouldn't be a bad idea to save here, but instead, Dimensional Drift invested. G2 fancy this.
Yeah, G2 have rounds to play around with, so why not give it a go? That's 3 of the 4 players spotted. Smurfette tip of the spear is now stunned, and 2 of them stuck out in main with no way back through unless you get decayed. G2, all the kills, reaping them in boatloads. Eva needs a clutch. It's a 1 versus 2 for her to try and take. And then the one most recent in the upper semis was that Vanya's now playing with the op. She didn't get a single op kill in the previous meeting, and
looks away.
no one's really going to converge on her position. And they're lax with it as well in terms of that clearing, like you say, from G2. Best case scenario here, bait out a couple of ults. Make GX deep dig into their pockets to try and guarantee this round is won. But I think you're up against it. You're going through it to even have half a chance here. So just a single flash. But for the rest of GX, I suppose, that's where you start to make up for it. And with this breach ult and Nightfall coming in on the B site, should be an easy pickup, and that's exactly what it is for a blind Smurfette.
Yeah, it's an easy entry, but in terms of getting that spike down, there's still delay, and there's still utility to come back in on, and G2 make good of it. El Stolo, trades coming back through, Showstopper to make good of.
Time bank is precious, and it is starting to run out. In this position, you might not hate the possibility of Sarah even investing the lockdown just to confirm it, because there are 4 G2 players inside the site. But finally, as they press go, before the spike can even hit the ground, G2.
Yeah, and they've got ultimates to invest as well. Rolling Thunder straight in.
That's it. That is it. The ult has won the round. There is no reason to even push this now, because G2, just using that one ult, so standard, so by the book. It feels dated. Still 5 rounds, they have a chance. She's leading the line, but it's almost solo here. The point woman of the push onto the site, shoulder spotted. Petra needing to win that duel, goes wide, hits the mark head on. 5 versus 3, GX trailing in number. Now 5 on 2, 1 by 1 they will continue to fall. This G2 A site defense will not stop until the job is done. They've responded brilliantly. How much effectiveness can Sarah get right now? It's not too much.
You have to go through the vice wall, you're committed to it now, and it's a nice arc rose.
A pairing of them as well as the suppression goes off. Not available for GX, Sarah is down. So Smurfette revealed in a position closely guarded, but when you go towards Market, it's only Mimi. She stands the task, and with that, it falls down to only Nami. 1 versus 4. You don't want to put yourself in that position at all, especially with the changes to the slowing effect defense, though, and that's an opportunity for them to get in, perhaps.
Perhaps.
Never mind.
Nami's being activated at the perfect spot here. Timing, 2 spot. Oh, perfect.
It's going to give just an extra moment for GX, but as the knife responds, they're in position for the retake. Flash onto Nami couldn't be more perfectly timed. She's only able to get one, with Ever in the corner, flying in their face instead. One shot paired with the paranoia. Vanya does go down, and now with Smurfette smelling blood in the water, they want to continue that charge towards the A site.
Here, realistically, especially when you've only got a Spectre and it goes to work.
Areas which Smurfette will want to try and exploit, and you can...
Vanya and Mimi got flashes ready to go. Can they catch players off guard? It's not the case. It's Sarah who denies the push.
I feel like they were quite ready to go.
Yeah, in terms of rotations, it's going to be really tight if they go else.
First of her flashes, teeing up the second. Smurfette able to shut them down. Mimi moving forwards.
Yeah, this is looking like a Vision Strikers, although it is a Euro rather than a Jet Dash to push out. Tails bought a little bit of time.
It was used up, and yeah, it's going to be yet another. No command there. 2 players in the smoke towards the door. Can GX find a fight for themselves? Doesn't seem like it's going to happen.
Nami, though, trying to push out, trying to get something back in their favour. Is G2 considering the idea of pushing Market, which we discussed previously? Vanya has proven that she can pick the team up by the scruff of their neck if needed, although she is under siege. She's got so much to deal with, so many angles. At the end of the day, we are essentially waiting for the trigger on this EMEA.
Yeah, they can cover all of Gelato from this point, so where's Smurfette gonna go? Straight into the ult. There's a here, but this is now where you make that late gamble towards the A side when you know that this is where you need to give coverage.
Yeah, Mimi just got the fragment off and the salvos as well, so there was delay. And on top of that, a steel garden to bring players down to pistols. Oh, that's what I thought. No, apparently Sirius in the down but not out state. And Nami being stuck with not being able to get that spike back.
Him in the hands of Ever late. Drone available, tools to try and re-engage, but it's G2 that are going to be taking the fight to them instead.
Back in, there they go. I mean, the Arc Rose is available and it's going to be used to clear out in towards Hell. The fight's coming through and G2 are the ones that strike first and go even further. One player left. This was a bit of a buy that came through from GX. Ava providing something different through the intel dart, but at the end of the day, the spike has been diffused.
Utility, which they are going to so very much need to actually take the site in full.
Yeah, when they actually start to come into the site, like the fact that there's going to be so much delay, as well as that combined with tail utility, like I'm not too sure that GX will be as successful as what they think.
Oh, we got one player in, that's Nami. Okay, sure, you send her on her way. 50 points of health, big reveal onto Amy. That's the second kill picked up. GX up from the couple of rounds. They potential position for Vanya. This time, reallocated towards middle, up in hand, mental timing. Have you...
Towards the B side.
You've got to push the smoke to trap the wall though, so Nello completely benefits off the back of her teammate's utility. Full profit collected. A vintage contact play from them, we know they like to do it. Finally pulling the pin. Smurfette not getting the entry though.
Yeah, Eva has at least got that last pick and Amy activating the right time.
Cuts in line, G2 queuing up to win this final round of the half, which would make it 9-3. Time running out if you're GX. All of the hopes resting on Ness. She'll try her best, but can it be enough? A 1v1 up against Vanya. Flash from the Yoru, still an op in hand. Playing up close with a shorty, the top of her head's been spotted. Down. Collect the info onto those players. Ness forced out into the open. It's a drive-by from Nello. Smurfette getting one, but it's Nello again. The player by Smurfette, so a 3-on-3 breaks out, and Sarah chewing through them with the Sheriff as well, through the paper-thin walls of Ascent. Ooh. Amy 1 versus 2. Her Teo has been right at the very crux of GX with a slower tempo to the way that the previous round started. Nami could very quickly be isolated as she comes back onto this angle.
Oh no, but this is where the real damage is going to be done. And you're looking at Smurfette coming in late. Spike can go down. GX though, they're here.
Petra just gets the smoke off before the suppression as well, so it would have stopped the first player at least, but GX disrespect it. They are right out in the open now.
Vanya noted from main through the Marshall, but GX are on site. There's utility to work with and delay. The paranoia being that, but at long range.
Towards A as it stands. That's Sarah's Bulldog. But well supported with utility and a nano ready to go.
Players are on site. Nami's taking a great time, and so is Sarah. Out from short. Vanya at least gets the trade, but Smurfette's Marshall isn't quite hitting. Eventually it does.
Some of their own medicine here. The missed knife isn't going to make things any easier.
Hey, listen, smoke down, don't want anything to do with it. Nami's in the prime position to deny.
On short, so GX have an idea where all of these last players are, the three of them. Nello has the Arc Rose to maybe try and flash back in, but Smurfette sends another shot down the throat of B main. Paranoia and flash drive cut across. It's a to assault the B site with.
Thing is though, with the steel curtain being used, it didn't actually catch. It was Smurfette. And while the first shot of the op was missed, the next two don't. It's right on the mark. As again G2 struggle to get out of B main. And that could be the isolated luck. Ness being the point. Contact, but Smurfette coming straight in to scoop up exactly what's hers, the entry pick.
Now this defense is remaining active in the right areas as they look to fight into a main. Petra want to invest it. Vanya has the ult as well. I guess right now they're just so concerned about the possibility of a push coming through in short.
Salvo's now back up, the timing working out in G2's favour. So are the fights.
Corner, Petra put down to a nice amount of health.
Next?
Smurfette through middle as the round continues though. GX continue to lay it on thick. Sarah 2 kills from main. She's unrelenting in position, but gives up her life in the process and sells out Nami.
Yeah, that ultimate won't be able to be used.
They've done brilliantly to get the rounds, 6 consecutive, to find themselves in this position. Now a chance to take the lead right in front of their face, but G2 continuing to bear on down. Smurfette doesn't care. She's not distressed by the situation. Won't hesitate to find one back, and now Nello, so much on her plate, unable to contain it. They're dropping back to Boathouse. They have that extra support. Ever without the dart right now, should be coming up very shortly for her to help support this.
Oh yeah, here we go. The fact that the TP comes straight in from Nami as well, 3 strong, and waiting for G2 to get their timing.
That 0 point was a bit of a red herring. Didn't spot anyone towards main, but there's 2 players cooped up in Switch. Here comes the flash from Mimi. Can they follow it up? Just the first kill. Second from Petra. 3 versus 2 situation. Ever the only player in close proximity, needing to be cleared out from lane as the spike goes down. Shocks to position. Still she hangs on, Petra. Yet to be revealed. Finally going down. Ever standing her ground. Mimi needs 3 of the best right now. She's just turned away. Towards Link. Still locked in, but it's Nello popping up again. Big moment from her. But this is where GX tend to respond. Into main, it's overlooked! To exactly that. A double kill, which gives them twice the players to work with now. G2 backed out into short. 30 seconds, do or die.
Need to do it. First time in a while we've seen Nello get towards pose. Already, GX have moved themselves over to the A side. Steel Garden in.
Sarah strong-arming things instead. Without her rifle for just a moment, but Nami is still here, feet on the ground, boots to the site, reveal coming in. Sarah again! Through the door, shutting it in the face of G2. Unless Mimi can do something to save them now. Her best efforts.
GX are already in position to fight back against the push.
It's just one player back site though, which will be Ness. Smurfette not yet walking out onto the rafter. Finally, she does make her place in the madness, and it's 2 kills volleyed out of the Ghost. Ever following up with more of her own. And so the site locked down as far as GX are concerned. Mimi gets away with 1, but she needs 3 more. It's another clutch that she finds herself in. Pretty damn good with a classic, as we know. First headshot is a decent the decider, and while we're in yet another 3rd map, it's placed right in the middle of this series this time. That one 13-11, of course. Sarah walking around the side. Ghost, double headshot, couple of players taking a lot of damage. Eventually find it for the execute instead, and it's backside control they'll take away.
Just missing out on the time, and Smurfette players are trying to assault their way on. Trade's going either way. Nesto goes one better. Smurfette, probably the only one within touching distance of an easy kill.
Last player standing.
Smurfette is never an easy kill though, Cairo. We know that to be true. 9 points of health could make a difference. Pretty good here for G2. You do not want to fumble this round if you're GX. And Sarah has got off to a decent start, but time does continue to tick.
It does. In terms of what can push this over is the utility G2 hold on to, and Sarah continues to be a thorn in the side to this hold. Now that backside, the foundation which G2 were holding on to, has fallen apart. A utility coming through now, trying to stop the players getting onto backside, which G2 cannot do. That spike is under threat. This round is under...
Vanya has gutted out the B site, and Sarah is so disciplined to hold her nerve with bated breath. Mimi falls, and now the backline is a threat.
Mate, that's the second time in a row that Sarah has went on a flank and got 2 kills. Tap of the spike, baiting players out, and the utility is spot on from GX.
And they're not even ready to hold the site itself. It's Sarah!
Finds Vanya. And that could be a tell, because that's the duelist. Sarah can...
They need to get 1 on the board. The lockdown to take away the A site, or the B site, sorry, and the deep site control currently being held onto by Nami is huge. She doesn't have a molly to deny this, neither does Ever. They can at least look to try and get the spike down, but the Hunter's Fury's bought all of the time. There's barely any left.
Well, Thrash is coming straight back in. GX so quick to try and flood back through. They should know that G2 are forced all the way back towards long, but Ness's shot is spot on, denies the Viper's pit, and well, the wingman, he's also been denied. It's unfortunate, and GX are stunted in terms of trying to get on that spike, and Ava has done so well and beat G2's playbook.
back-to-back defender-sided dominance, and it started with that shaky duel in mid to the unforgivable timing on Nello.
Yeah.
But as I said before, comfortable.
Nami also here. Oh, and it's a stinger at long range.
Dude, but it's happened again. It's like, oh, I was gonna say, how are you letting...
The only thing to note here, though, this isn't GX in a winning position. Sure, they've got a player to the good, but G2 are looking towards Snowman, pushing it further. Nice ideas, but it's been completely denied by Smurfette.
Fast lane to get out if she needs, but fully committed to this angle.
I mean,
Winning out the duel as well.
You do not doubt her for a second. And that's another stop to this push. The mid space, though, has been won out by Nello, and that lockdown immediately put down. It's going to buy more space, and let's think about this rotation. Time is going to be really low in terms of whether they can get that spike down. Again, we look towards mid, look towards Sarah.
You see it from the interviews as well, the confidence that she now holds onto after making her first foray into a main event with a team that she's now put into the sword. Into the site they go. It's a laboured spray from Ness, which gave half a chance, but it is...
See what they can find. That full site completely clear. GX so happy to play retake as they have done on so many rounds before. The forces combine once again, but Smurfette sneaks out into back site, and for the first time it feels as if G2 are in prime spot to get this round over the line. 3 versus 1 essentially. They're looking to burn Mimi on site, seeing how much value she can get for her position, and she's locked round perfectly. Just saw Ness against Nami as well. G2 finally in a spot to try
on the A hold as well. Drone perhaps incentivizing a little bit more of that play. Brilliant movement from Amy in the stealth drone. Does suppress 2 players. In comes the Armageddon. They have to try and fight forward towards the maze here. TPing behind it all is Vanya. But where are the rest of the forces? Each one of them sent to the forever box. Packed up in the graveyard. Mimi 2 more impactful kills to just keep them hanging off the olive branch. But it's slipping away yet again. GX's turn to put double digits up defender's side. Is another 1v3 away, and then throwing utility, like the reveal from Ness behind it has been fantastic. Focus on mid this time. Got it bang on. Smurfette sent from the angle, but here comes the overdrive. And here comes Sarah again!
Oh man, she's just unbelievable at the minute. It seems like nobody can stop her. Mimi, on the other hand, though, is all the way through A. All on her own. Look at the position she's in. Has to try and get by Nam.
GX 5 versus 5. No second layer for G2. Straight into the retake. Same site as they did on the last time out. Can they find the success on this occasion? It started off well, but Ness has responded in kind. 1 kill back. Shera shut down on the lurk. Spam through the poison.
What?
Oh my god! Some tag damage on the other side of the map from Nello. The regen shield.
It's the Smurfette that get caught through, right? So you've got to be thinking about these next couple of fights and the fact that Nami's so isolated.
On the G2 horizon at their homestead. Icebox repurposed. We know GX have been good here before. This is more than just great. First time they'd been able to pry it from the hands of G2. A second attempt here, as it's a side swap from the last time. Ramp is where they go early, shown away by the defenders.
Yeah, straight away.
Having garage control sitting under their brow. GX are looking for an advantage and a way back in. Ever's pushed out into the open. Now you're really relying on those spawn players to come up with the goods.
Yeah, and with both players already being chipped away, Sarah goes elsewhere and up towards Heaven, where it is actually planted for, using the breach bomb to try and buy something in the round.
And coming into post with the salvos going back up shortly, it's something to be worried about.
Post plant is planted open, and Vanya has taken out Smurfette, not before taking a load of damage herself, but the utility spot on. Nami not long for this world, and it looks like neither is GX. A 4 versus 2 in favour of G2, and well, that spike has already been worked on. Sarah getting that kill, and the salvo's buying time. GX have a chance to try and do something here, and they're actually starting to do it, although that spike already being defused will give G. And still G2, look at it, ready to...
Able to catch that first tag. Still no kill on the board, and Emma is fighting solo ahead of the line. But you've still got the nade for Smurfette. Going to be on a longer line here with the Outlaw loses to Petra's rifle, and now there are problems.
There is very big problems starting to come to light here. The thing is though, both players have a crossfire in which they can work from. The first player not cleared, it's Eva, and now up to Ness, who is already low. First flash used, well the rifle most importantly, up to Ness. Spikecraft has to try and win it out, as we didn't obviously get to see it.
She is the only one who is really using this weapon at all in the reverse fixture and finding huge value from it. So the fact that GX are diligent enough to clear it out is huge. Mid play coming in at the same...
Dot in the eyes, crossing the T's, making sure to clear the site. Very willing to commit in towards sites and commit into fights that maybe wouldn't go their way. Vanya very lucky to escape with her life, and Nello noting the players that have taken that heaven spot. The Armageddon not hitting as like it should.
Nello trying to bear the weight of the sight hold, but she was separated from the rest of the team, and so GX fire back in unison. Post-plant opportunity now with the tower control still under their banner.
Both teams willing to invest ultimates here, and well, GX looking to go one step further. Smurfette looks the wrong way, and now G2 with a rifle to work with. In fact, make that two, but one has already fallen. Two remaining players trying to make the way out of CT, but with what is left in Eva's pocket and what is left on the site, the demons that I mean, at the same time though, right, you take this space, but G2 are so happy to let go of this.
T-play, Smurfette slips the net, Amy needs the call for support, but Mimi's hung her out to dry. Now to fill the gap up against 4 players on the right-hand side. Nello nowhere to be seen. Can finance following rounds. The coach in the back of your head right now is saying, you know, why are we giving Smurfette this final kill? Come on. But now they know where Nello is. And full focus, 4 players, all looking towards A, and that's where GX will be going.
We've seen this a few times. GX will accidentally end up executing in towards a stack, and it's exactly the case. They've hit a brick wall, and Sarah's looking to try.
Tripwire destroyed.
They win more ecos, more thrifties than any other team.
GX though, defaulting around the map, not wanting to get caught out like they did last time.
Aftershock in the corner, and by a couple of rounds now.
But you can see Vanya would rather play the position than play the players that are in towards heaven. All 3 players close by.
Ramp control. Your hands are tied though. Nami needs to win this.
Yeah, it feels as if GX's hand was almost forced. And oh, Nello tries to capitalise off the trap being played. And G2 get 2 more kills. A 2 versus 4 where one of the players is already low. GX, they try to go and look for something. Eva being the exception to the site hold. That Rolling Thunder's going in, and G2 are already on the site, but so is Ness! Sarah, instead of quickly punished by GX, into the site they go, very quick. The utility being traded either way, but it hasn't capitalised, or basically came through as a kill for either team.
Oh, this Armageddon is fantastic as well from G2 to re-clear the whole of the backside space. Thrown into the fire and flames goes the Rolling Thunder. Ness finally profits off it, 3 on 2. GX with a player advantage as things stand, and with Sarah sat around the corner of the backside, peering on down from the rafters position. There is a crossfire held and a contact piece for GX. Game state currently stands, just Sheriffs. The mid walk down again, but the drone has spotted it. Player stunned up this time. Variation on the theme from G2.
And time to set up this post plan.
Gotta be careful here, Sarah. Give away the gun and you could be the villain of your own team's story. Deadly as all the rest. Petra right behind her to follow this one up. Nami is alone on the site.
Need in hand, 2 blast packs as well.
Coming in from the other side, but a statement of intent as the orb is already taken away. Push through this smoke straight up
and find a pick.
If Sarah can find this next kill, it's going to make a world of difference. Mimi to go down. The stun back across the screen in Spawn. has just stopped G2 from making any progress. You've got Eva waiting in the wings with the salvos in her hand. All she needs is a little bit of time. Can GX buy enough? The duel's going either which way, but favoring G2 all the same.
Loses their life. The cam taking contact, which has been destroyed, and utility has been sent every which way. Sarah playing around the smokes, the defensive ones has been given to her. Eva providing to be an issue, but G2 go one better than what GX had. Time ticking away. Big first one there.
It was actually G2 that won the second round as it flip-flopped last time. But GX don't seem to be in a decent position here at all. Nello sneaky through the tower. Thing spots the side of Mimi's head and says, you know what? Not just yet.
The trigger discipline was spot on, and now they move towards the A side. The right click was spot on from this, and now a couple of players low.
It's so messy, even from G2.
That now GX will have to reclear late into the round and consider
the site. Sarah's suppressed, so disengaging will be difficult, and she has no cage to do so. Nesto.
Yeah, Mimi moving in towards the traps as well. A buy which isn't going to favour them in the next round, right? Depending if they win or lose, trying to bust into the smoke Smurfette stack. Yeah, I think they were trying to, dipping their toes in the water, seeing what's there, but time is far too low.
Okay.
And with everything that G2 have, like you're expecting this to be a G2 round.
Rocket to come back in with, but it's this Armageddon again. Okay, it clears out backside, that's not an issue. Players fighting the front lines into the traps. That's where Vanya goes. Double for Sarah. Easy as you like, that's how she makes it look. Peering off the cam now, Eva knows about it. Bucky in hand, still hanging.
She comes through, right? What position she can find, what luck timing she can get. Right now, the execute is coming through, a reposition towards backside, but players are so close to one another and they've not realised it. Sarah now so isolated and stunned up. There was no chance in hell she had of that fight. Almost like shipped in the night. Eva's out of nowhere! 3 picks and the spike denied. Showstopper in. GX look to even out the score count. An unbelievable triple kill.
They finally do. They get an idea, it's a little bit late past the flower pot post plant.
I mean, the only thing that's going to be good for G2 is that late win condition of Nello, but it's whether she'll be in position at the right time. GX make their way onto the site, but it's an isolated duel onto Petra, which she can't win. Nello now into spot. The attack economy isn't looking good, the buy not great. GX are favourites to hit number 11 here, and especially in this round as the players
suddenly becomes a much bigger issue.
GX now make their way in. Still trades going either way. This is still a very close affair. Nello looking to hide, Amy playing late, the upset, the salvos, that's what's going to buy G2 the time here, and the fact that the players that are playing so passive is so good for G2. Unbelievable stuff. Angle denied. Knows about that trap towards ramp and will be telling the full team about what's been happening. Sarah though still managed to find Amy as the cage dropped.
And there was no player off the traps there either. Nami's gone backlines, hunting for a kill. A stab between the shoulder blades, and while Mimi was thinking about it,
but G2 are trying to force something, trying to see if they can get something back. It just hasn't come their way, and that smoke has allowed GX out onto the site. Or so you thought. This wins the duel. The showstopper in, but GX from elsewhere
feeling somewhat doomed if they can't pull off the kind of heroics we expect from the region's best.
And calling to the team, you're basically hitting in towards another stack here if you're G2 EMEA, right? Because at that time we don't know who's going to be just yet, but we know it definitely might not be G2, depending on how these last couple rounds go. Eva trying to stay tucked, not get caught off guard, but Vanya's done what I thought was a good effort.
Both players need a couple kills.
Spike planted.
This pair of players has done so much already in the series.
Heaven/CT position, Eva activating and providing another issue which G2 need to worry about. Although finding that pick onto Smurfette and onto Sarah is making things become a real problem for GX to themselves and send us all the way to overtime. Just need that confirmation, and Eva's looking to deny it.
The coverage is just fantastic from G2. They got 3 players in problem points.
Stop, cut the noise, and wait. Now
30
finally the
seconds
utility comes in, they execute as well, but Vanya gets the first and Petra helps out. Smurfette finding back sight, but it's not the control that GX want, it's the full sight. Ness now, and Sarah still to come through.
With a huge opportunity now.
Remaining.
Duel 1 in Spawn by Nesto, and that's the difference, 2v1.
Yeah, that lets out all pressure on GX to hold on to that side. They've got a position in which to play in, destroy. This should be easy enough to consider this to be the B site. There's 3 anchors willing and waiting to go. Ava under siege, Nami getting the paranoia out. G2 still not making their way onto B. Time 30 seconds, kills going either way. In fact, Ava's got one better and sent G2 out. There will be new queens of EMEA.